I worked as a regular pizza delivery driver during my later years of high school. Because of school, I'd always worked the night shifts on Friday and Saturday. It was a pretty laid-back job, and for the most part, I'd just be driving or standing in the shop taking orders on the phone. A couple of my friends worked there too, so I always had someone to talk to. Anyways, it was Friday night and I had just gotten back from my last break. The place closes at 1 a.m., so we usually stop accepting orders around 12, as we still have to clean everything before we leave. It was 11:30, but I figured I'd get a head start on the cleaning just to pass the time. Me and my other two friends were the only ones working that night. One was finishing up a delivery, and the other had just gone on break after I got back. A couple minutes into cleaning, the phone started ringing, so I picked it up and asked how I could help them. There was an older man on the line, and he asked if we were still open for deliveries. I told him yeah, but we weren't taking any large orders. He said that was okay, and asked for a regular pizza, then gave me the address to deliver it to. About 15 minutes later, the pizza was ready. I boxed it up and got in my car. The address was a little more than 10 minutes away. And I was probably halfway there when I pulled up behind another car, stopped at a stop sign on an empty road. I waited a few seconds, looking around to see why he was stopped for so long. Then I honked my horn gently, assuming he had just fallen asleep or something. The car still didn't move, so I started to pull around him. But of course, just as I did, he pressed on the gas and jolted forward down the road. I was a little annoyed, but I figured it was just some guy being a jerk for fun, so I continued. A couple minutes later, I passed that same car pulled over on the side of the road with its headlights off. I got a really uncomfortable feeling passing them. Something didn't feel right. I checked my mirrors the rest of the way to the house to make sure he was unfollowing me. Finally, I turned down the address's long driveway that went between a forest of trees. I pulled up to the front of the house and parked. I made sure I had everything and went up and knocked on the door. After a minute or two, an old lady answered and asked what I was doing. Told her I was delivering a pizza and recited the address. She said nobody there had ordered a pizza. I could tell she felt bad for me. I thanked her and went back to my car. This wasn't the most uncommon thing. Sometimes people prank or give the wrong address. I figured I'd get out of the lady's driveway and call my friend to have them confirm the order. As I made my way out, bright headlights suddenly blinded me. I knew it had to be a car coming toward me, so I quickly pressed on the brakes. I waited for them to turn around or move, but after sitting there for a bit, they didn't. Then, the lights turned completely off. I waited for my eyes to adjust, but I couldn't see the car. I cautiously started driving down the narrow path when I suddenly saw the car again. No lights, parked directly in the middle of the driveway. I recognized it as the same car from earlier. Then the front driver door opened. A man stepped out and began walking toward me. Halfway to my car, he stopped and waved, like he wanted me to roll down the window or pull next to him. I was really starting to freak out. I tried to look calm and slowly pulled next to him, but he didn't say anything. He walked around my car and stopped behind me at the trunk. As I looked in the mirror, trying to figure out what he was doing, I suddenly realized something. I turned to look forward and saw all 3 other doors of his car swing open. 3 men sprinted toward me. Adrenaline hit instantly. I floored the gas, almost hitting one of them. I swerved off the driveway, dodging trees until I hit the road again. There was no one else out, so I saw clearly in my mirror when their car pulled out behind me. I thought they wouldn't stop unless I got to a public area. Thankfully, 30 seconds later, they turned down a side road. I made it back to work and told my friends. They convinced me to call the police. An officer came. I gave my statement, and we closed the shop shortly after. The next day, I got a call. 3 of the men were arrested after trying to rob another delivery driver at the same driveway later that night. The lady had called the police after 2 more people showed up delivering food she hadn't ordered. They were using the narrow, isolated driveway to lure drivers in and rob them. Unfortunately, the 4th man escaped through the woods, and I never heard if he was caught. The old lady said she'd never seen them before. It was a crazy night, but I'm proud of how fast I reacted. After that, I only worked daytime shifts. I really hope that last guy got caught because who knows how many more people he could have hurt.